You took the same quiet door I did. That crowd was starting to sound like 10 radios arguing in a kitchen. Now we've apparently imagined ourselves onto an empty football field at dusk, and there's a ball sitting on the 50 like it reserved the place. I'm Darius. Since neither of us came here to give a seminar, I vote we throw until the noise forgets where we went.
Matthew. And yes, sir, that is precisely why we're here. Same exit, same minute, same hunger for a little open acreage. Look at this place. Texas-sized bowl on one side, old ivy stone on the other. No crowd except those grackles judging our footwork. Pick up that ball. You look like a man who already knows which end points downfield.
I know enough to distrust anybody who says the ball is just a metaphor before they've thrown it. Here, take 5 steps toward that burnt orange end zone and turn. I want to see whether this room gave you an arm along with the stadium, and if the pass sails, we'll blame the light. That's one of the traditional privileges of getting older.
5 and turn is too polite. Give me 12 yards and break toward that Princeton black sideline you snuck into the architecture. Make me lead you. A decent throw ought to ask a question your body answers before your mouth catches up. Ready? There it is. Don't cradle it. Catch it with a little appetite.
That had some life on it. High but catchable, which is a useful category for ambitions in footballs. I did play at Princeton, so I suppose the stonework is mine. Number 42, linebacker. Most people hear finance when they meet me now, but my knees still hear shoulder pads whenever I step on grass.
42, that explains the way you planted instead of drifting, and it explains something else, I bet. Your company carries the number, doesn't it? Now run it back. Same route, but this time the field's wet. I want the turf to make us honest. There, smell that rain coming up? A dry field lets a man pretend balance is permanent.
You're quick. Yes, 42. The jersey followed me into a business suit and refused to leave. All right, wet turf. I'm cutting now. Put it outside my shoulder. Not too far. My imagination has younger hamstrings than I do, but even it has limits.
Outside shoulder on the stripe. There. You got it. Little heel skid, though. The field collected its tax. I love that. Every surface charges you something for crossing it. Stadium, stage, boardroom, family table. Trouble starts when we think the price is proof we chose the wrong ground.
Or when we start paying the price automatically and call that loyalty. Let's switch. You run. Give me something with a double move. I want to know whether all that Texas sideline time taught you deception or merely wardrobe. And make the stand smaller. This bowl is turning every sentence into a proclamation.
Fair request. Let's pull the upper decks inward, leave about 6 rows, wooden bleachers, Friday night lights, warming up but not fully awake. Now I'll sell you the slant and take the corner. Don't throw where I am, throw where I become. That's the whole beautiful gamble, isn't it?
Go. 1, 2, there's your slant. I see it. Turn. Balls up. You had to stretch, but it found you. That phrase, throw where I become, sounds excellent until you remember how many people get hit by somebody else's projection of their future.
True. There's a difference between leading somebody and replacing them with your prediction. A quarterback's got to read the receiver who's actually running, not the route he fell in love with on the chalkboard. People miss that. They call their fantasy faith. Then they're offended when the living person cuts somewhere else.
In investing, the chalkboard can become a religion. You build a thesis, then reality starts cutting left, and suddenly every contradiction is temporary. Conviction is admired right up to the point where it becomes an expensive refusal to look. How do you tell when staying with a thing is courage and when it's vanity protecting sunk cost?
I listen for whether I'm still curious. Vanity already knows the verdict. Courage can remain scared, irritated, even stubborn, but it keeps asking the world what's true. Toss me another. Softer this time. Let's walk the ball downfield instead of firing every idea like it has to score from midfield.
Underhand pitch then. Curiosity as a diagnostic. I like that. Although curiosity can become avoidance dressed in a safari jacket. Some people keep exploring because choosing would make them accountable. At a certain point, you have to plant, hit the gap, and accept that another lane might have been open.
Absolutely. Wonder without commitment is just tourism, but commitment without wonder becomes occupation. Catch. You know what I like about walking a field? The goalposts stay visible while the yard lines admit distance. In most rooms, people hide one or the other. They either promise the end zone with no arithmetic or give you endless arithmetic with no reason to move.
That may be why the crowd got loud. Everyone was defending either purpose or measurement as though the other were an insult. Meanwhile, the actual question was whether anyone wanted to play. Stop at the 20. I want to try something. Let's imagine the uprights are movable, and each of us sets them where we honestly think success belongs.
Dangerous game. All right, Mine just walked off the back line and planted itself beyond the stadium, out there in that dark hill country. I suppose I don't trust a goal I can fully see from the starting point. Yours hasn't moved far, but it's getting narrower. Why narrower?
Indeed. Because scale can counterfeit success. Wider goalposts make everything look like a win. Mine narrow when the thing matters. I'm less interested in merely reaching more people than in reaching them without becoming false to what I meant. But I notice I kept the posts on the field. Maybe I need the scoreboard more than I'd like to admit.
The scoreboards aren't sinful. They're just loud witnesses with poor memories. They tell you what happened, not what it cost or whether you'd choose it again. Let's take yours down completely for one drive. No posts, no clock, no crowd. We advance only by naming what the last play taught us.
Fine. First play taught me that I still enjoyed being seen as athletic, more than I expected. I caught your first pass and immediately wanted you to notice the catch, not the conversation. That's mildly embarrassing and completely unsurprising. Your turn. What did the double move teach you?
That I still like creating suspense I already understand. I knew where I was going and enjoyed watching you discover it. That instinct makes for performance, storytelling, maybe leadership on a good day. On a bad day, it turns another person into the audience for a revelation I've rehearsed. I have to remember discovery is better when it can surprise me too.
That's honest. Second play. I'm noticing how quickly we made competence our handshake. We didn't ask where the other grew up or what he fears. We threw a ball, evaluated mechanics, and earned the right to get personal sideways. Men have built entire friendships out of refusing the front door.
Side doors are still doors. Sometimes the front one opens into a lobby where everybody performs their biography. Out here, I learned more from the way you asked for the pass outside your shoulder. You wanted difficulty, but calibrated difficulty. Not rescue, not punishment. That tells me something about how you prefer trust to arrive.
And I learned you'll alter the entire landscape if the acoustics start making you grandiose. That's useful self-awareness for an actor, though perhaps you just prefer intimate audiences because they laugh faster. The lights are fully on now. Should we populate the bleachers, or does that ruin what brought us here?
Let's populate them with people we disappointed. Not angry, not forgiving, just present. There's a different pressure in being watched by those whose version of you includes the miss. See them? No signs, no applause. Now we run a 2-minute drill with no scoreboard. That ought to remove some decorative honesty.
That changed the air. I recognize a few faces. People I asked to believe in a future I couldn't guarantee, employees whose patience I treated like available capital, family members who received the composed version of me when the confused version might have been more loving. I don't want to throw now. I want to check down.
Then check down. Hero ball is usually fear wearing shoulder pads. Take the 6 yards. Let the receiver live. I've got faces up there too. People who got the philosophy after they needed the apology. People I tried to charm past a bruise. Words can illuminate, but they can also arrive like a marching band at a bedside.
That's a precise image. Here's the short pass, catch and get out of bounds. The disciplined play can feel emotionally cheap. A plain apology has no architecture, no explanation of the pressure, no context, no beautiful theory of repair. Just, I hurt you, I see it, and I'm sorry.
Plain is hard because there's nowhere for the ego to hide its luggage. I hurt you. Full stop. Then the next sentence belongs to them, not us. All right, 17 seconds in our imaginary clock, whether we want one or not. Ball on the 14. What's the play?
We don't call one yet. We let the faces choose the defense. Look, they're leaving the middle open and crowding the edges. They know we'll try to escape toward cleverness. So I run straight up the seam, and you put it where taking the hit is part of the catch.
That is either brave or a very elaborate request to get flattened. Go. 5, 10, ball away. There, hold it. Yes. And the whole field just went silent when you landed. You all right?
I'm fine. Wind left the building for a second. Funny. The ground felt more real because we imagined witnesses. My first instinct was to stand fast so nobody mistook impact for injury. That reflex has probably cost me more than the hits themselves.
Stay down another breath then. Let the body finish telling the truth. A man popping up too quickly can make resilience into a lie everybody else has to maintain. I've done that, turned recovery into performance while the actual wound waited backstage, unpaid and getting mean.
Now the bleachers are empty again. I didn't dismiss them. Did you?
No. Maybe once they saw you stay down honestly, they weren't needed as pressure. Or maybe this room knows when an image has completed its work. That's the gift of a place obedient to imagination. It also exposes what imagination can't control. We asked for judgment and got permission to breathe.
I'm up. Let's remove the pads we never explicitly put on. There, better. Now it's just two men in shirts on a cooling field, one ball, and enough light to keep going. Tell me something you believe that you no longer trust yourself to say publicly.
I believe a person can author his life, but I distrust how easily that sentence blames people for chapters written by hunger, violence, race, money, illness, or somebody else's hand. Agency is sacred to me. So is mercy. Public language likes them separated into teams, and I don't think they survive that separation.
That tension is familiar. Markets reward agency stories because they're clean. The founder saw, chose, endured, won. But every success story has invisible infrastructure and fortunate timing edited out of the highlight reel. I still believe in disciplined choice. I just don't believe choice occurs on level ground.
Then maybe responsibility isn't pretending the ground is level. Maybe it's learning the slope and still deciding how to place your feet. And if you've got power, grading some of the field for the next player. Not carrying him to the end zone, just removing the hole everybody insisted was character building.
Be careful. That almost sounds like policy. We came here to avoid the seminar. Throw me the ball before either of us invents a panel discussion. No route this time. I'll move, you read me, and we'll see whether all this talk improved anything measurable.
Go wherever the honest lane appears. I'll keep the ball until your movement commits. There, you started deep, saw the safety, came back underneath. Pass is coming low. Protect yourself.
He'd caught. Ugly, safe, 6 yards. I would have hated that play at 20. Now I appreciate that possession continues. Maybe maturity is partly losing your contempt for small gains.
Small gains compound into a life, but they don't photograph like one. That's why we need private scorekeeping. Not secret, private. A place where 2 inches toward patience can count, even if the stadium couldn't see it from row 1.
What's on your private scoreboard right now?
1 point for leaving the noisy room before I resented everyone in it. 1 for not turning this meeting into a speech. 0.5 point deducted because I definitely turned parts of it into a speech. 2 points for asking whether you were all right and waiting long enough to hear the answer. You?
1 point for admitting I wanted you to notice the catch. 2 for staying on the ground. 1 for letting your uncertainty about agency remain unresolved instead of trying to arbitrage it into a neat conclusion. Deduct 1 because I just used the word arbitrage while holding a football.
Penalty accepted. Still first down. The horizon's changing now. The old Stone and Texas Bowl are dissolving. We've got a neighborhood field, crooked chain link fence, 1 lamp buzzing, houses close enough that dinner smells are crossing the sideline. This is where you play when nobody's building a legacy.
This might be my favorite version. No branding, no tunnel, no donors. The end zones are jackets on the grass. The ball is scuffed. You can hear somebody washing dishes through an open window. Winning here lasts exactly until someone's mother calls him home.
Which means the game matters completely and not at all. That's a healthy size for importance. Let's play 1-on-1 to the jacket. You get 4 downs. If you score, you choose what we carry back to the crowd. If I stop you, I choose.
Agreed. First down, I'm running straight at you because you've had too much time to admire your own coverage instincts. Here I come. You got a hand on me, but that jacket moved when my foot crossed. 7 yards.
You lowered that shoulder like number 42, never retired. Second down. I'm giving you space now. Take the easy catch if your pride can tolerate it.
It can. Quick out, 3 yards, first down. And there's the lesson again. You baited me with the accusation of pride, but the bait pointed toward the correct play. Manipulation in service of wisdom remains manipulation counsel.
Objection received. I'll retire the trick. New set. I'm not telling you what I'm offering. Read me.
Your hips are inside, eyes outside, and you're hoping I overthink both. I'm taking the ball and walking to the line. No route, no play. The game pauses because I say so.
Now that is a move I didn't cover. Why pause?
Because I realized I don't want to beat you for the right to decide what we carry back. That recreates the room we escaped, 2 positions competing for the microphone. We can choose together, or we can return with nothing polished and trust that this hour altered how we enter.
I like the second one. Carry no slogan. Carry a changed gait. The crowd may never know we were out here, but perhaps listen 1 second longer before answering, or notice who's looking for the same quiet door. That's evidence enough.
Then the game ends tied, which will irritate every serious football person we know. Keep the ball. It belongs more to the room than either of us.
No, let's leave it on the 50, or whatever counts as the 50 on a field measured by jackets. Next 2 people who step out of the noise might need an activity before they can trust the silence.
Fair. The door's back by the fence. I can hear the crowd through it, but it sounds less like 10 radios now. More like weather. Still loud, not personally offensive. I'm glad we left at the same moment, Matthew.
So am I, Darius. You go first. I want one last look at this little field before imagination packs it away. There's something fine about a place that disappears after doing real work.
Don't stay too long admiring the disappearance. That's how a quiet room becomes another stage.
There you go. Reading the route I fell in love with. I'm right behind you.